All right, here we go.
Wakanda Forever, Black Panther Wakanda Forever is finally here, and I was excited to see this movie because we all know this was a project that was so much in the air what was going to happen with the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman, and then I mean that kind of like shaped the horror story and narrative of this movie completely. But it's just really sad to see Chadwick Boseman pass away, you know, with stomach cancer. It was sad to have this. It was a shock to the world, to all the fans, to everybody, you know, to heaven, because he was so amazing. He was perfect as Black Panther. So it was interesting to see what will they do with Wakanda Forever, basically. And this movie is all about grief. Like from beginning to end is all about grief. Now this will be a spoiler review of Wakanda Forever, and I feel like the way the movie starts out is really good, because I was interested like how are they going to incorporate him without having him basically in the movie. And when you have him start out basically where, you know, he has this disease and that's what's killing him, and Letitia Wright, you know, is trying to find like a cure like in the quick seconds, but then Angela Bassett comes in and says it's too late, he's gone. And then you have this beautiful funeral done. I really feel like that was really, I feel like the best way they could have gone about it, you know, about having a Black Panther pass on without actually having him, because I don't think they ever got any footage of him for Wakanda Forever. So, you know, I feel like that was a respectable way. I think it was a good way to kind of feel like, okay, that character is unfortunately passed on. And I really like that they said it's a disease. They don't go into specific. It's like this is a sickness, disease that he had. What I really feel also was like respectable at the same way, you know. But I like the story, you know, this time is now that, you know, T'Challa has passed away. Now Angela Bassett is the queen, head of queen, and she's talking to the United Nations and everything. And I do like this sequence where they talk about, you know, they still see Wakanda as this big threat because Wakanda is the most powerful weapons in the world. The French from the UN basically send an operation team to steal vibranium, and then she shows them in the middle of the whole UN. It's like, oh yeah, you're trying to take shit from us, huh? No, here, boom, and then shows the world is like, we will not share. I really like that sense of power that Angela Bassett as queen showed. It's like, oh, you're trying to steal from us? Bam, this is what you get. That was a really fun sequence, I really felt. Tena Hatier, I hope I said the name correctly. We get to see Namor in this movie. And I really feel he kind of has a badass entry. You know, when you have like people from the water world show up and where they sing this song, what makes all the soldiers basically commit suicide, which was kind of scary. And you get to see him immersed out of water with this feathered feet fly around, take off this whole operatic aspects, because the government has a machine that can detect vibranium and he sees it as a threat. So then he goes into Wakanda and just like tells them that, like, hey, these people find this machine and we need to find this scientist and kill them. But then Letitia Wright and basically Diana Gora goes in, okay, Okoye, they go after Riri Williams, played by Dominique Throne, and I feel like her entry, you know, in the Marvel universe, she's now like, you know, the female version of Iron Man basically. I mean, she's entertaining, she's kind of like the comic relief in this movie, but I feel like they kind of don't explain how she got to be this smart, or how did she get the tech so easy, because she said she built an Iron Man suit for years. I kind of feel like they didn't explain really much about her. It's just like they kind of threw her in out of there, and her basically being like the main reasons why the characters do what they do in the show. Like everything that the character Namor does, that Shuri does, is because of this one scientist, because she built this one machine. Basically the whole plot is basically because of one action that she does. And I feel like you can have that, but I feel like we don't really find out more about the character, to be honest. But overall the character's enjoyable. I mean, it's like, you know, fun, typical young teenage genius thing that we get before in Marvel. Is not very new, but it was alright. It wasn't that terrible. But I feel like the interesting most part was the Kukulkan, the feathered god. They call him Kukulkan. I've been hearing that all the time. Kulkan, which I really like. Namor was portrayed very good actually, and I really like this, that he shows Shuri basically that, look, my world is exactly the same like Wakanda, just basically on the water. And I really like that he shows him that I am not an enemy, but I will make you my enemy if you don't work with me. Which I really feel like, if Killmonger would have been king, he would have instantly do an alliance with Wakanda, because that's what Namor wants. Namor wants the alliance, says, hey, we need to stick together because we are the ones who are in control of vibranium, so those people cannot basically kill us. And I feel like if Killmonger would have been king, he would have said hell yes to Namor, and they would have gone over and destroyed basically the whole world, or attacked the world mainly. But I do like this notion that, like this conflict, Shuri trying to solve the matter peacefully, and not to start off a whole war right away. Also, like, Okoye's character gets some development. At first, the queen was hesitant to send Shuri because, her son has just died, her husband has died, and then, Shuri gets kidnapped. And I do like Okoye kind of being denounced, and then later being one of the Night Sisters, with the Power Ranger suit. Which also say, like, yeah, the suits in this do not look that good. The same with Riri Williams' suit. It looks like a Power Ranger suit. It looks like something straight from the 90s. The design does not look great. They didn't do that any favors. But like I said, it's very interesting, the story arc they go with, actually. So like I said, it's about grief, but you also find out Namor's backstory, and you get to find out more about kind of like how the world is now active, in conflict with Wakanda the whole time, and they still see it as a threat mainly. But the main focus stays about, the Namor and Wakanda. It doesn't go too much outside of that, but I would say Namor fucks Wakanda up. Like, he didn't play. Like, he told him, like, look, either you with me or you against me. And he showed up because he messed up Wakanda with some damn water balloons and just like destroyed Wakanda easily without a thought. And then of course you have the scene where Angela Bassett character died, which I feel like that was kind of a surprise. I feel like, okay, and that died too, because like a lot of death in this movie, especially for Shuri's character, because now she has her brother passing, and now her mother passed away, and now she is in the helm, of being the Black Panther and being the queen now for a certain moment, actually. And I do like that she's actually enraged. So when she takes a purple herb, she sees Killmonger, which I feel like a great way to have Michael B. Jordan in the movie. That when she goes into the beyond world, basically she talks to him. And I feel like that was a great way where he actually tells her, you are just like me. When you get to see her aggression and everything about being the Black Panther and the way she goes about it, and then the battle that they have on the sea, which I kind of feel like was kind of dumb. Like, these are underwater people. Why would you go on a ship where if the ship is down, then everybody's in the water? Like, you should fight somewhere on land or somewhere where you can get to land, honest. But the fight sequences are also good, are also interesting. I also like to see our favorite colonizer. I really like to see him in the show, and also we got to see the one lady from Falcon Winter Soldier, I forgot her name now, her also involvement. Kind of, but not really. It's like at times the movies, I feel like this movie has this one, sometimes it loses a little bit of focus, because I feel like the first act, the first half of the movie is really good and really interesting and engaging. And once we're in the water world, when they do the symbol and everything, we get to find out more about Namor. It's really engaging. Then somewhere toward the middle, it kind of becomes a little bit stale, like kind of a little bit, just exposition really, to be honest. And then the third act, it's the typical Marvel third act fight that we get to see. But I do like the fight between Namor and Shuri as Black Panther. I feel like it's kind of really rough, even though there's one moment where I feel like, okay, I don't know how exactly did she survive, because she gets stabbed through the suit with a vibranium spear, and then she just pulls it out and is immediately fine. Now I know that the suit can close up again, but I don't think the suit heals your wounds. Like, I never know anything about that. I don't know if it can really do that. Now also we get this great, I feel like amazing tribute sequence to Chadwick, this really great sequence where she's at the beach and then, she burns the clothes, and then we get this really beautiful, just silent moment with all the moments of Chadwick's. The same like with the intro, we get to see intro just with Chadwick. It's hard to see kind of, this Chadwick Boseman was so great as Black Panther, and it's just to see, we have this really nice moment where she kind of says goodbye basically to the character, and then we find out that he had a son with Lupita Nyong'o characters, which was kind of a nice touch to see, like he has a legacy that will continue, which I really liked actually. And then we get this great song by Rihanna Rihanna, Lift Me Up, and then you're just sitting in the cinema and you hear Lift Me Up and T'Challa and all that shit, you kind of get teary-eyed. I was like, man, I was just like, the fun thing was I was in the cinema completely alone. Like there was like one other person in there, which was really great. I was like, I can enjoy the movie by myself. But the movie is really great. There are some great aspects. There are some times where the movie like takes a hold, but overall Namor is great in the movie. The action is great. Also Winston Duke, that's my dog, Winston Duke. Come on, man, Winston Duke in the movie is for me the best part of the movie. Like there's this one scene where he's in the throne room and this one dude says like, how dare you talk about us, and he's like, oh, it's like, bro, it's like, you want some of this? I'm gonna smack the shit out of you. Like seriously, it's like he's so entertaining in this movie where he walks up and is like, you bald-headed demon. This is like everything that he does, just walks up eating a carrot. Winston Duke is a Mbaku. It's like, that's my favorite character. It's like, I really liked him. He was so great in the movie. And he now becomes king of Wakanda, which is really interesting to see how they will continue that actually. I'm gonna give Wakanda Forever a 7 out of 10. I really think like Ryan Coogler did something really great, and I really think they went about Chadwick's death, his character, and the tribute that they do in a really the best way that they could, in a really respectful way, because they kind of had an impossible task. I mean, you have the main character of your movie die. It's really sad to have Chadwick Boseman pass away. And now the worst thing for me was actually like, after being in a movie of 2 hours, reminded that Chadwick Boseman is dead, I walk out of the cinema, and as soon as I open up Instagram, I see that Kevin Conroy has passed away. And I was just like, this is just too much. I cannot just like walk out of a movie reminded that Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther died. I walk out and Batman is dead. Kevin Conroy as Batman died. That's the first thing I saw as soon as I walked out of the cinema. I was just like, I can't do this. Like, that was heartbreaking to see Kevin Conroy, rest in peace, like the best Batman we will ever have. Like, that was really heartbreaking. So yeah, but anyway, thanks everybody for watching. As always, see you next time. Wakanda Forever.